You see, I'm in the place which I was thinking this could be an option that we might do for my. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so now I'm going here and I want to invite you. So it's not, what's your email?
Yeah,
It
Mukherjee.
normally it should show, right? So I'm not.
Okay, but you can type, right? I think that will be okay.
So what should I type? Connect, is it? Connect.
Yeah, connect. Yeah. @Subramukherjee.in. Yeah.
Subra MUKHERJEE.
KHERJEE.
Right?
Yeah, .in.
.in, is it?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it is showing invite.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah.
So because you said you have the original versions, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make some tweaking, not with the content, but with the style and formatting, so that
Yeah.
when you have the original one, and then you can maybe just compare or just see that what are the certain changes I made and all of that. So
Okay. So are you now showing or am I showing now? Should I close?
no, now you can close this. So since you have invited, so I have the link. So slowly throughout this week, I'll be sending you the versions, edited versions,
Okay.
all of them, except I will not touch that MIG, the assessment ones. Others,
Yeah.
except for that, the rest I will. Even the speech also is excellent. I think there, I mean, it's already completed. The speech one, maybe I'll just add a little extra text, that speech map that you made.
Actually, the speech wrap is not done. I don't know which one are you talking about. Are you talking about my
template? Yeah, your template of how to write a speech. You have
correct.
created a new version. So that there also, mostly it will be like that, but I might add a little extra text here and there. So that is why I said that you could, you should keep the original versions that you created intact with you. So I'll be yeah. So okay. So then that part is done. Next is we will do I think we are asked to bring a material just to see how we can do book mapping.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is done. And then we will also see some of the organizational things, like how to organize. We have done creativity a little bit, if you remember, with that paperclip test. And also with that experiment where I said 1, 2, 3, and most of us we think it should be 4, and we are not supposed. So that was about convergent and divergent thinking. So we'll speak a little bit more about how our brain, like if you want to generate ideas, not just brainstorming with others, but it's just about yourself and individually, if you're doing, how to generate those ideas. So all of that we'll be seeing. So what would you prefer? Let us complete this session. Maybe we can start now and we can complete it around 7:45 or something, and then we hear your this thing about the assessment and all of that. We can speak again.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, okay, great. So yeah, and you have your MindMeister open.
Yeah.
Because when we do that live mind mapping with a topic, we will be needing that. Okay.
Okay.
Great. So let me share my screen.
Okay.
In fact, your next assignment is going to be interesting because we will convert a complete PPT, which will be around like 30 slides or so, any of your presentation that your existing presentation, and it should be something very old, old in the sense at least 3 to 4 months back that you made. An entire thing will convert into just one mind map. So that part will speak later, but yeah, let's start then. Okay, you can continue having your breakfast, please.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, we have reached session 5. So welcome once again, ma'am. And as we know that we are mostly talking this few weeks, we are talking about planning. We'll slowly move to creativity and productivity and other things. But in the COCP, we got a lot of clarity in the previous sessions, and we are mostly talking about planning. And I always start with this quote that every minute you spend in planning saves 10 minutes in execution, which is a great return on energy, return on investment, perfect ROI. So yes, with that Brian Tracy's quote, and we are in the second stage now, and automatically we will see that whether we are in the first stage or in the second stage or even in the third stage, productivity will keep on getting boosted. It will automatically get enhanced. It is not something we need to be worried about. It is something that will automatically happen as a byproduct. And so today we are going to talk more about organization using mind maps. And at the end of the day, whatever we are doing with mind map, whether we are reading a book or you are creating some new content, you want to present somewhere, you want to put your thoughts on a piece of paper and then organize it. So whatever it is, we are doing some sort of content that is already there in your head, or you are acquiring and you are mapping that. So whenever we are doing that, we want two things. One is, of course, we are creating. Even if I have not written a book, imagine, and but you are writing a book authored by someone else. But I'm creating the summary. Whatever I'm reading, I'm actually seeing it from my own perspective. What I understand and what you understand, or what somebody else understand, will completely depend upon our own life experiences and our own journey. So we are, even in that moment, we are creating something. So creation, and whenever we are creating something, if you can see the picture there in retention, we want to remember that. It's not that we are reading and forgetting. For example, even if I've read a book like Atomic Habits, I may not remember the 400 pages, but I want that, given an opportunity to speak about habits, my brain should be quickly be able to pick up at least 5 to 10 laws or principles explained in that book, or at least talk about what the author has said, and that should come very effortlessly, not trying to remember and recollect. So that is the whole point of mind mapping, and we'll be talking a little bit about that today. So whenever we are creating a content, any content, again, when I'm saying, it is not just writing, it could be you are reading something, or even you're watching a video and you're making a summary of it for yourself. Even that will use the word creation only. So we will plan, we will map, and then we execute. So planning phase is where we are doing mind mapping or brainstorming, or even if maybe even before using mind mapping, you used to write something in a piece of paper, or you will type somewhere. You will at least sit down and think something. So that even that thinking phase can be considered as planning. And once that planning is done, we go to the next stage, that is mapping. And then whatever is the purpose, whether it's a presentation, whether it's a book that you're writing, or whatever, the last phase will be execution. So we'll be talking more about planning and mapping now, and then later on, anyways, execution will come. So this is the exercise that we are going to do today. And I call it, or we call it in mind mapping community. And this is again a very carefully crafted. It is not, it has come like this. This is something which has been used from 40 years on now. So the steps that I'm going to show you, and it will work for all scenarios. And we call it supercharge yourself and have a blast of ideas. And yes, this is what we do. It's a 5-step process, and the last step can be changed. Instead of write, you can write speak, or whatever is that execution phase. We are creating, we are planning, we are mind mapping, and then we are executing. So executing, instead of write, you can just change and use any other word. But this is the 5-step process. Number 1, we will do speed mapping. So in the speed mapping phase, which both of us will be doing right now here live, in the speed mapping phase, we are absolutely not going to think about the rules of mind mapping, in the sense colors or even bold letters, small letters. If we can follow effortlessly without pressurizing our brain, it's great, which will happen automatically in the long run. But initially, we need not be so much worried about whether I'm following the rules or not. We will, that is the reason the name is called speed mapping, where we absolutely do only divergent thinking. We will not allow our brain to judge our ideas. I will not tell it is good, it is bad, not at all. So step 1, speed mapping with consciously doing divergent thinking. And why I'm saying consciously is because the moment my brain says I should not map out this idea, you should immediately just rule out that, and you should still map out that idea. It could be as crazy idea as why cars should have square wheels. We actually did this with some mechanical engineering students here, that why cars should have square wheels, and the kind of ideas students came up with were excellent. And that led to a lot of ideas that why it cannot be, they found out. and then they understood the importance of friction. And so even that is a great idea, writing something absolutely not related, but still it should be present without judging. That is step number 1. Next, what we do is we step back, we stop speed mapping, and we just look at the whole thing. It could be you have generated 25 ideas, or let's say 100 ideas, and we generally do speed mapping for, let's say, if you are at home and it's a big idea, we do it for like 10 minutes, not more than that. And right now we'll be doing it for 2 to 3 minutes, just with a very small topic. But then we look at the big picture, and this is the time when I revise and I think, okay, maybe this, I will do divergent thinking now. I will think, okay, this is the idea that I'll take to the next phase. This, let it be there, but I'll still not strike it off, because it is something my brain has generated. I'll keep it there, but I may not take it to the next phase. I might add some idea, I might remove some idea. So all that revision part, I'll just look at the mind map, speed map, and I'll just try to revise and see if there's anything I can add, delete, modify. And then very importantly, we take a break. If it's a small thing, like you're preparing for, let's say, you're generating idea for something new project that you are doing, and you don't want to spend too much time, even then we suggest you take a 30 minutes break before going to the next phase. If it's something really big you are doing, for example, you're planning your next book or whatever it is, we suggest you take a break of at least 1 day where you absolutely forget about your book. So the idea is we just don't let our brain dwell on what we were doing. We purposely tell our brain to forget what we were doing. And this is very important, this phase break. And in fact, I would like to share with you, I had read about Einstein, that, when he was working with his interns or with his trainees and all, so in that work schedule, break was considered a part of the work. Means if they are working on a project for, let's say, 2 days, then they must, or 3 days or 1 month they had been working, now they must take, whether they want or not, they must take breaks, because breaks were as important as learning. Just like revision, breaks were very important. So purposely taking that break. And then once that phase is over, the next phase, in the outline phase, I will actually look at my final need. What is my final requirement? If I need to write a speech, maybe I will outline the speech. If I need to or maybe if I'm presenting somewhere, or if it is a meeting that I'm preparing, so whatever is the final outcome that I'm looking for, based on that, I will prepare a nice mind map now. So outline is the mind mapping phase. The first one was just randomly putting ideas in a radial form, not typical mind mapping. We'll call it just speed mapping. Fourth step, we will mind map. And then from the mind map will now remain with us. You're making a mind map today, it will be there for after 10 years also. You can always keep modifying it, but whatever is your immediate goal, based on that, you can do it. So this is like we map out and then we actually execute also. And this 5 steps that you are seeing in different ways, you can just tweak around with the final. Instead of write, you can do something. You can say plan your speech, or you can just change it, and then even then it will work. And these 5 steps are something we all use it in our mind mapping community. So these are the 5 steps for generating or supercharging our creativity and having a blast of ideas. And if we are ready, can we do on a random, of course, I'll be giving you the topic. Can we do on a random topic? The speed mapping and revision part we will do. And then we'll take a break. Break in the sense we'll go to other topic. And then again, we'll come back. Yeah. So I'm stopping sharing my screen, and I would want you to share your screen.
Sure. 1 second.
So the 5 steps, you try to recollect in your brain.
So we want to be first going speed mapping.
Yes.
And then from there, we want to do those tweaking ups, and then we want to take that pause, correct? And then you want to revise it, and then you go back and do the write or speak or whatever needs to be done.
Okay.
Did I miss a step?
No, let's do it. Yeah.
I said the right thing, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So what we'll do is, let's take a topic like, suppose you are a leadership coach and you want to, there are 2 options I'm giving, and these are like 2 topics I have carefully thought about last night, and I'm giving it to you. You can choose anyone. One is strength, not SWOT analysis, just strength and weakness of your team members. And the second
Okay.
one is mind mapping of your target customers or clients. So which of these topics are we going to take now? You can decide, or you can just think of a new topic also.
No, this is good. I think
It should be if strength and weakness, not your own, because you need to think your own will come very easily.
okay. Okay.
And otherwise, mind mapping your future ideal customers. Yeah. Right. So I'll put a timer.
I just want to know one thing before we move forward is going to be the when I'm putting in the strengths and weaknesses again, am I putting should I put it in as person each person's name and their characteristics, or in general the whole team, and just write down what are their problems?
No, it's like team strength and weakness. So unless we know which person, or at least if not the person, your team might have like 16 persons which are divided into 4 core areas of your card.
Okay.
So something like that.
Okay. So I put the names, right?
Yeah, and you can
Okay.
just run whatever is coming to your mind. Just don't even think. Let's say you're forgetting something, you can, not necessary that you're putting under strength and weakness. You want to put an extra branch, put it on the other side. Just let it be completely divergent thinking. And we'll do it for it's 6:35. We'll do it for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be absolutely quiet. Whatever changes, we'll do it in the next phase. Yeah, right now you can do. Maybe we'll do for another 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done?
Yeah. So
Okay.
what we'll do is, can we just take the weakness on the other side so that we can see it together? I mean, you can see it together, yeah. Let the
Yeah.
colors be like this. So right now, what you can see is you have generated, I think, if you just expand at least 50 plus ideas, or not ideas, this is like more like whatever was there in your inside your brain, you have put it on the paper. It was already there with you, you have just mapped it out on a paper. When we do with a topic also, the same thing will happen is it's already there inside, you have read or something in your past, and all that those you're putting in the paper. So uh, in the revision phase, what we'll do is, for example, here you have written person's name and then strength and strength, weakness, and then the same person's name, and you have mapped out. So if you see the same exercise, uh, and this again, the mind map has been chosen from Tony Buzan's list of mind map, where if we are a teacher, we give different mind maps, because you're a leadership coach or people running some organizations and all. We tell them that knowing your own strength and weakness is one thing, but knowing your team so well is another thing. So if you have realized, just in 10 minutes, I think a little bit less, only around 9 minutes 30 seconds, you have mapped out so many things about your own team, and you have written so many strengths about them, so many what are they good at, and again which are the areas they can improve, or you think that okay, they need a little bit more push, or maybe some more efforts need to be put in that direction. So you have mapped it all together in just 9 minutes 30 seconds. That was the timing. So if you see, you have given so much of information from your head on the paper. And what we do in the next step is, of course, there is so much here. What we do in the next step is we just try to look at this map for 2 more minutes. And while we do that, we also see that uh, the entire thing that you have done right now. Yeah, I think this is good. We need not change color or anything. We can just do one thing. Can we just select all and make it bold so that I can read? Yeah, for me, it's a little lighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just bold will do. Uh, yeah, great. That's sufficient. So now here, what we do right now, we will not do the entire process, but I just want you to understand here is, we will look at this map. If there is something more in this phase, like because we are going to use it only after a break period, maybe in real scenario, you would be using it next day. So by that time, you might actually forget. So yahan se, which one is that important part? Maybe you just can go and change the color, or just make something different, or is there something you want to remove and you don't want, and you just go there and you write okay, not required, or NA, not applicable, or something, some mapping. So you just look at this map, and if you're doing on a piece of paper also, you just write down some comments. You can actually go and write comments also in this phase. What I do is I write comments. I will not add or delete anything. I will just say okay, for example, can you just expand a little bit, ma'am? So for example, if I want to say okay, so I see that Ram sir is the person who is the though he's quiet and very focused, and in weakness, or not weakness, I would say the challenge that maybe is uh, speaking in publicly very flawless, not flawlessly, but effortlessly. It takes some effort for him, while he has a lot of ideas, but it takes some effort for him to express that in a public forum. But at the same time, he is excellent, or you can say a treasure of networking because he has so much of experience and all of that. So what you do is you see them together and then you see, okay, this is the best person for all of this future endeavors. But at the same time, we also want that more and more opportunities in all the leadership sessions, subtly that he is speaking more and more. So as a leader, because in the entire thing you are the main person who is delegating all this task, who is wanting to know which person is best in what. At the same time, that person should not always be doing just that and is lagging in one field. You will definitely want that every person in your team is contributing and is also on the forefront, because if the person is doing so much and not able to express it, it will be always like he will be always away from the limelight also. So so many things come. So whatever it is that I may be not exactly touching upon the essence of the card team, but whatever is the essence or whatever is that vision of your card team, based on that you give the members you have written down. And when you suppose you are also taking a session with some other people and teaching them about leadership or all of that, you can actually make them do this exercise. They need not have mind meister. A simple pen paper is okay, that I may not be the boss of the team, but I at least work with 3 of my colleagues or 4 colleagues on the same project. So I can at least, do I know what?
I mean, brilliant. I loved it.
So I must know what my team members are good at, so that I know when because none of us are perfect, we will not have all the skills. So do I know that whom should I refer to if I need to go for networking? Do I know whom should I go to if I, for example, I'm a programmer and I have some basic challenges and I'm also learning, so whom to go to? And at the same time, we have a person in the team, for example, Shubham, who is, you say, that takes orders, and he is very open minded, he is generous, and he will listen at the same time, which shows that he's very curious learner. He wants to learn new things, and that is the reason whenever he's confronted with some new task, he always takes it and does this content creation research, and he will ask for clarification. Means he has a very open heart and he wishes to learn a lot. So when we present the same thing, like, this you have done uh, with me, or you can consider it you have done it alone, forget my presence also. So when you present it to your team, maybe sometime just like a review meeting, when you present it, definitely you will not want to show this map, but we will show the map that we'll do in the 4th phase, where we use better words. And we say okay, better words in the sense, not here because these are good words, but maybe we cannot go, and you may be very close to your team, but imagine you are taking the same session for somebody else. The boss may not, or the leader may not be very comfortable saying all this upfront. So you have also to tell them that we have to put the words in such a way that the person feels appreciated, and at the same time the person understands, okay, this is where not I need to work upon. And at the same time, what is that I need to do? So I can actually add an extra branch here in the next mind mapping phase. For example, whatever is Shubham's weakness, let's go to Shubham's weakness, the other side. Okay, only seeks guidance. So is he going into a phase where he is there in this leadership, or even in just day-to-day life also, there is this concept which is I think both in Western and Eastern philosophy it is there, that there are 2 type of people, and specifically in Hindu mythology we call Garud and Narad. Okay, and what happens is, if you send both of them for the same task, Narad will come to you 10 times, and if you tell, okay, just go and ask that lady why did she why is she upset. And this is a real story, not real story in the sense, this is a story we have been listening from childhood, that why the lady is upset, please can you go and ask. So Narad will ask, okay, why are you upset? And the lady answered, I spilled that milk can that I was carrying. So Narad will come back and answer that to the boss. His boss is Vishnu, let's say. So he will answer only that that lady is sad because of that. Then he said, how did he spill the milk? Again he will go and he'll ask, okay, how did you spill? And she will say, okay, I just stumbled upon this, there was this rock on the way and I spilled, and so I'm feeling very upset. Again he will go and answer. So he will keep on going and coming, and he'll say, okay, did you ask the lady's name? Okay, no. He will go and he'll ask again, what is your name? Then again he'll go back, did you give her some solution? The boss says, Narad says no. Again he goes back and he asks, okay, so you had 2 cans and one can all the milk is spilled, so what are you planning to do? Then she said, today maybe I'll need to sell this at a little higher price, otherwise I will not be able to feed my children, or something like that she says. He will again come back. The same thing, Garud was not present there at all. He comes in a later scenario, and we can name it X, Y, Z, any other person in the story. He comes and he says that his boss is a little bit upset. So he asks, what's the matter? He said, no, that lady is upset, and can you go and see how can you help, or just find out what is the reason. He goes there, he does some conversation with the lady, and comes back and he says, her name is so and so, and she resides there. She was coming, and on the way she just fell upon her fit sleep or whatever, and because of that she has spoiled, so all the milk is spilled, and she looked very upset. So what I thought is, why not buy one can of milk from her today, and anyways you also like sweets, so we can make sweets for you, he tells his boss. So he takes all the information, takes decision for not just the boss, because he knows what the boss likes or dislikes, and even thinks that, okay, if he had been in my place, would you do this? He also takes a minimum calculated risk. The boss could have got angry, but he takes a calculated, minimum calculated risk based on past experience, and he comes back and tells all of that. So these are two personalities I think we all have. At times we behave like the person who is very responsible and take charge, and does things, take minimum risk without worrying about whether the boss or whoever is our superior will be happy or not. We take the decision because we go by our instincts and based on our past learnings. At the other time, there is another person who will be very scared, or not just scared, somehow we all have that nature sometimes, that we just don't want to take that risk, or we say, okay, because the other, sometimes even I have seen, because the other person is there, why not just go and ask, because maybe the other person is available, or because she is approachable, just ask. So it's nothing good or bad, but this is one point. We keep on speaking, even as a teacher, as a leader, any profession we are, this Garud and Narad, or you can just, I will share you the story also, a small clipping of that story from this one of the books that Devdut Patnaik has written, from where I picked up this story. And the original one, of course, I heard it from my grandmother, and the same one is there in Western theory also. They have just changed the names, and I mean the names are changed, the story remains the same. Instead of milk, it is something else. So you can define your own story. Actually, you can just think of your own story and put whatever is that you want to communicate to your team. You can put those things there, and you can put a real scenario, and it will become your own story. So this is where we will, I mean, all of this we are speaking because when we are reviewing, and in a review meeting, we are coming up with our team members, and where we talk to them, we will actually put out words in that way. See, this is something, and this is where, for example, everyone lacks confidence. So you have to, what is that he can do? Maybe even you can communicate to him personally, and if it is a very closed group and nobody minds about speaking to each other in front, then even that is fine. So where you can just add a comment here. For example, can you put on lacks confidence? Can you just click there? Yeah, and just maybe you can put a comment that how can he, as a leader, what do you suggest him? Something, yeah.
I mean, that's one of them.
Okay. And I mean, there could be so many like this. Like you would tell him that, okay, next time you have to, even in confidence, what is that he lacks confidence? Maybe he doesn't lack confidence in creating content. There will be some specific area which he's particularly worried about, or he gets anxious about. So that coming down to that, or in fact, we may not be aware also, we can just have a, one-to-one 15-20 minutes conversation with that person, at least once in a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just one we are doing. Of course, we can keep doing this and all of that. But the point, what I'm trying to make here is, or what we are trying to understand is that, for example, you have done this and you also give him an action plan, come up with this, and which is what are the areas, and you do a follow-up so that your team members, when we speak about card team or XYZ in future, any team, that person feels connected. Yes, he or she is caring about me and she knows about me, so that bonding will be formed, plus you're actually helping that person grow. That is one thing. Another thing is, banking upon the resources that he can provide, because of course we cannot completely transform that person. He will be good at something and he will always have challenges in certain things. So yes, we can reduce or mitigate the challenges, and maybe he can get better by 10%, 20%, 30%, but there is something he's very good at, so that also we should push up. Because what happens is, we have seen this with many teachers also in colleges and with students, that we focus so much on their weakness, in the sense, not focus, we say that okay, improve this, and then the thing actually they are very good at, that they love doing and they are very passionate about, they actually forget that. So that should also not happen, so that balance should be there. That is the next point. And about not just Shubham, or not just one person that I'm talking about, we can actually divide now. Once you have this map, and maybe next month or sometime, you can actually divide that. Okay, if anything related to networking or anything related to when we have to talk to business, let's him handle, because this is where he's good at. And even if you get some information, let's say team, and
I give it to him.
yeah, we will just give
And
it
let
to him,
Ram
because
handle it. Yeah.
and we know, and we also convey to him, because we know that you are very good at it.
Absolutely.
And whatever
Absolutely.
small tasks that may waste his time,
Yeah.
when I say waste, then we put that task to somebody else, and the team member should
Absolutely.
understand that I'm not good at networking, but I have to help him with the networking. He may need 10 resources, so I'm going to help him plan those resources. So that kind of complete
Exactly. Absolutely. I agree on
agreement,
that.
cohesiveness, and understanding, and that will happen only when we put not just in the form of a map. Maybe others, those who don't know my map, they can even use just some charts or something. But the idea is telling your team that this is what we know about each other, and we have to understand that to make this team grow, we have to help each other with our strengths, with our weakness. So that is the point. Moving forward, once you have done this, after a month, what you can do is you can actually relate and see that okay, you can add some more points, and you can see okay, now Shubham or now XYZ is getting better at this. Let's look at challenge number 2, because every person will have 10-15 challenges. At the same time, weak strength maybe just 3 or 4 challenges will be more all the time, so we have to keep on reducing the challenges, and maybe some new challenge will come up in future. So it's like a live document, and telling the people all the time that yes, I'm with you because I know about you, all of this. So this you can use with your team, as well as this you can give as a demonstration to your uh, mentees also, not just your own card team but others also. And yeah, so this is what we'll do in the review phase. We have taken more time because this is the first time, but next time when you do it alone, you will just take, let's say if you are taking 10 minutes for brainstorming, you will take half of the time for review. For review, we will not take too much of time. We'll just have a very quick look, and we'll see, okay, these are the things. Do I need to add some connections? Do I need to do something? Okay, and maybe some comments I'll write down. I do just commenting in the review session. I don't do anything else. Some of my friends, they will color it, make some changes, so it's completely up to them. And I do a lot of hand speed mapping also, manual speed mapping also. So yes, can we okay, stop sharing this for a while?
I'm gonna remove this one.
Okay. Yeah. But the rule is, in speed mapping, we will not remove anything. Even if you're doing it on a piece of paper, don't strike off. We say that everything generated by our brain is gold. So yeah, I cannot hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, because the drilling has started. So
Okay, no issues. Yeah, no issues. So let me share my screen again. So was that helpful? I mean, will you be able to actually do it, take it further from here?
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But I will also need to know that how can we make the words better?
Okay, no, words better means I think that came out very bluntly. What I meant was the word should be carefully, because I deal with a lot of youngsters. And if I
No,
go,
even with them, I mean, even with them, it's going to be the same thing, right? So now, but I mean, I love the task. I will definitely be immediately one of these days doing it with them. And I will not show them this. I'll say, let's do it together
yes,
about each other. And let's think about how we can do it. Yeah.
yeah. So better words, of course, we can talk about that, and maybe we can
Because
actually,
when we start thinking of better words, it will make us think.
yes, divergent. We will become convergent. Right now,
Exactly. Then we
everything.
become
So
convergent because now we are being careful that are we hurting someone's feeling. So
yeah,
that's what I was thinking that we are.
yeah. So that we will do in the outline phase. So
Exactly.
in the outline phase, for example, I don't want to use, and we can always play around with words instead of, for example, I have students who at any moment, at any time you ask them, they will always have 10 complaints about the organization, no matter what you give them. Okay, so I say that, imagine, we do a mind mapping where I tell them that you have become the principal for 10 days. Imagine you have all the liberty, and now you tell them, and then we keep on negating. So instead of directly going and putting his strength or weakness, we have to think of some strategy or something, and the words, instead of just saying that lacks confidence. So what is that where he lacks confidence? If we just figure out that area, it will be easier. So he comes up with, so risk, his risk taking. So you take lesser risk. The moment I say, okay, this person takes less calculated risk, he or she won't feel bad. He will say, yeah, I'm like that only. But that is actually lacking confidence, because he thinks that he might, there is this fear of rejection, or it could be fear of what if things goes wrong, what if I mean, I'm just giving an example, this could be just I'm blabbering and it doesn't hold true in your case, but maybe the boss gets angry. There are a lot of youngsters, especially especially people in the age group of 25 to 30, they keep on thinking, what if the boss, people working, what if the boss feels bad, and in the mode to please, they stop taking risk. But actually
Yeah,
boss
I
will be
agree with.
happy, boss will be
Mm,
happy if they take risk. But it's a
yeah.
complete, so those are all replacement for lacks confidence, and very
Mm.
easily we can communicate without hurting them. Yeah. So these are where the steps where we take a break, and the break time duration will be decided by you. If it's a big project, take a break of 1 day. If it's small
Mm.
project like this, where we are just mapping, we need not take like more than 1 hour break or something, or maybe you are doing it in the morning and evening, you go back and just plan out things like that. So it can be completely decided by you. We have done this live demo. And why are we, yeah, before that, as you saw that, just now, if you without mind mapping, maybe you will come up with 10 ideas without mind mapping, but because you did mind mapping, you saw that so many, in just 9 minutes 30 seconds, you gave an entire history kind of thing of your entire team. It needed no thinking also. You were going flawlessly. So this is what I keep on repeating, this famous quote by Ezra Pound, where she says, genius is the capacity to see 10 things where an ordinary person sees one, and a person of talent sees two or three. And Tony Buzan would say that the moment we start mind mapping, we see automatically a lot of ideas comes up. So we are already genius. We are genius. We just don't realize sometimes that we are genius. So why we were talking about breaks in the third phase, and breaks and reviews are the most underrated aspect. People think that if they plan and they execute, it's done. But in between planning and execution, we need to understand, if we want productivity, we also have to do proper reviews and breaks. Whatever you are doing, even you could be writing a book, or you could be working with your team on a really big project that you're coming up after 2 years or 1 year, or you are doing some preparing some pitch for some investment, you are going to pitch in front of an investor, whatever it is, you need to give yourself that pause, review. And why is that important? Let's see here. So if you remember the MIG graph that we did in the second session, And I saw that you also prepared a mind map and all of that. So if this axis on the x-axis or the bottom is time, and we have a start of duration and there is end of duration, and on the y-axis we have how much we can recall from whatever we have learned. If we do that, this is very simple, and remembering all those techniques or all those principles, we know that the starting of the session we have very strong brain automatically captures whatever the person is saying. Same thing while reading also, while content mapping also. Initially we have that the brain captures fast, and at the end brain captures fast. In the middle, if you see, there is a dip, which means that brain automatically starts losing data. You need, even if you're very conscious, you will automatically start losing data, because we have a particular span. Unless we are someone who is very meditative and we have got control of our brain, we cannot focus for a long duration of time, like 3-4 hours, unless you are completely in flow, and that happens once in a while. So what we see is that if we introduce small breaks in between, what we are doing is, suppose it's like 2 hours you want to read something, or maybe you are giving a session to someone, or anything that you are doing, or even if you yourself you are reading a book or something, what you do is, if you calculatively, if you place certain breaks in between, let's say your break could be the famous this Pomodoro technique, if you remember, it's like 25 minutes and 5 minutes break. What I do is, I do 45 minutes and then I take a 10 minutes break if I'm doing. Sometimes on very good days when my mood is good, I am full of energy, I'll go for 60 minutes also, and then take a longer break, let's say 10 minutes of break. So whatever we
For
do,
me, 45 and 10 works very well.
great. So yeah, so something that works for us, so we put
Mm.
breaks there. So that is
Mhm.
one thing. And if you see the graph, very beautifully it is shown that the moment you put a break, the primacy remains the same, recency has changed. Now we know that I'm going to take a break, so break in that 60 or 2 hour session, my recency has shifted to just the 40-minute timestamp, or whatever is the timestamp where you're taking a break. So automatically the retention or the recall capacity of your brain increases. So if you see that from this blue curve at the bottom, now it has, if you see, the red ones are on top. So in all the cases, the moment you take a break, your recall or that memory level has increased. So this is one aspect of why we need break. The other aspect of that, the moment we take break and completely shift from the work what we are doing, if I'm writing a book, I'll completely leave it, and maybe I will just go and watch television. I'll walk in the nature. I might just go and cook. I might play with my pet. I might go to my garden and do some pruning and also whatever it is. I just completely shift by 180-degree and I do another thing. And this is being recommended by all brain researchers or even scientists. Everyone, they recommend this, that you must take breaks. And this is again very interesting. You need not remember or something, but if you can just be present and watch this as I show you. So again, imagine that breaks are important, but reviews are also important. Imagine that you have learned something, and again research says that after learning, if we don't revise, we just remember things for, let's say, 10 days, even if we are very attentive. And then after 10 days, after passing time, the whatever you have learned, most of it will go to drain. We say it's dumped. If you see that it is going down, and it will be there in your brain, but it is dumped so badly inside that you can hardly recollect it. And it happens all the time with all of us if we don't revise.
True.
But imagine we did a revision after, let's say, 3 days or 4 days, or after a gap of few days. We took time and we revised whatever we learned. Immediately, it does not go to this. If you see, even with the passing time, it decreased, but that forgetfulness will not happen. At least we will remember now for more time. The amount of information will be remembered for a little longer duration. If we do the revision, let's say today you have learned this most important graph, MIG, and what you did after today night itself, you just said, okay, you need not open something, you just took 2 minutes time and you recollected these were the 7 principles, Johnny Buzan this, and this are the areas where I can apply. Finished. You have done this maybe same day, and then again after 3 or 4 days, you said, okay, let me just have a look at this. Again after a week, and this MIG is a very small concept, just 7 principles. Even if you're looking at something very big project or something, after a week you see it. So if you see the graph is going up and up now. Now it is not like this red one, yeah, where it is completely dumped. And it is said that if we done again, you have seen this, understood the concept or whatever it is that you are learning or anything, and after 1 week you revised once and then you just closed it, kept it. After a month you say, okay, let me just think, what did I do? Just 10 minutes it will take. You need not go and revise and everything, but just you look at the mind map that you have made and you say, okay, you take 10 to 15 minutes of time and you just revise the mind map. Immediately what will happen is whatever you were about to forget, brain has now collected all of that information. And what we generally do, suppose we say, okay, this was something I think I have forgotten, but there was something here. I'll immediately open the book or the link, or I'll talk with someone, what was that? And we add that point to the mind map. So even if there was something that was lacking, we have added that. So after a month, if we revise, and they say that after 3 months, again, if we revise, then we are making sure that it is going to the long-term memory. So now, can we keep on revising so frequently? For children, yes, but for us, we may not. We have already so much on our plate. We may not have time to keep on revising it days, months, weeks. So what we do is, based on our own project and our own convenience and our requirement, we devise a plan and we call it review plan. That after how, for example, when I read book, I have a particular review plan. I will read that book, complete it, make a mind map. After 1 month, I will see that mind map once again. And in between, I will explain about that book to at least one person so that it gets stored. I will pick up, and if no one, I will just tell my husband, I read this book. These are excellent points. I will speak out. So that is my way of making sure that whatever I read and whatever points I want to, want it to remain in my long-term memory, I will revise it once in 1 month, 3 months, and in between I will talk to someone. It could be anyone. So you create your own personalized review plan for all your projects that matters to you. That is the next very strong recommendation or suggestion, I would rather say. But yeah, you can think about it.
Yeah.
And so we were doing speed mapping, we did revision, and we understood why we need breaks. We also understood why we need revision, and not just this revision that we did after speed mapping. Even after the entire project is completed, you may need speed revision after 10 days or 1 month or whatever, wherever it is. So this outline phase for this particular one, where that you had done strength and weakness, the outline phase, we will give it as a task when you come, not the immediate next week, but after that week, because the next week we will not be counting it as a session. It will be just assessment. So it is because if we take that, we will be wasting a lot of time will be wasted, because we will not get the full 2 hour or 1.5 hour time. So we will not count it as a session. It will be just that assessment. So the next week after that, this map, that outline part should be completed. So you also get some break, and you just keep in this break period, whenever you get time, let's say 5 minutes, and you add some comments, not beyond that, 5 minutes and add some comment. And once your 4th October session is over, you go back and then you make that final mind map. So you have a good 10 to 15 days period, and this mind map can be a standardized one which you will be using for your own sessions. That in place of the names of the person, you can put member 1, member 2, member 3. And that one you create just like how you have done for speech, you create a personalized template for leadership team, that you tell people that this is something, not just SWOT analysis of yourself, but of your team members as a leader, and tell them that you care for them, you want to empower them so that they can do better in life. And at the same time, have that belongingness, that okay, if this person is good at networking, I'm not supposed to go and say, okay, he is not getting the other job. He is doing that because he is good at that, and the other part that he has no time for it, so I will do the rest of the things. It's not that I'm in the background all the time and he's in the forefront. It's not that. It's a collaborative group work. So even that kind of thing you can bring out through the map in a very subtle way. So yes, we will move forward. So outline and write part, again, we will be touching in the next session. Once again, we'll come back to this, and once your outline is ready. So yes, this was the thing, that we have to create a review plan, break plan. Like I have very specifically plans, and even SOP, I make standard operational procedures for small things. I have to reply to, let's say, LinkedIn comments. So I have a SOP that, okay, if people, there are some people I know that, okay, these are the people, 10 people I'm going to interact this week in their profile, example. Or I see that, okay, this is my SOP plan, this is my SOP when me and my spouse, simply in the family, if there is any decision that purchase decision that involves beyond this is the cap, beyond this we will ask each other, at least we will decide, not allowing or not allowing, but we will have a mutual discussion. The final call can be taken by the person, but we do a discussion. Or if we if we want to plan for a tour, so how do we decide? So there is a SOP, there is no breaking of SOP by anyone, and we prepare the SOP together. So there is no point of arguments anymore there. Or let's say we will have, like, we will go for this kind of, we have a lot of parties here, so we will not go for more than 2 parties in a month, no matter what. And then if we take that extra quota there, then somewhere later we will have to compromise, because parties means there will be a lot of drinks, and so many things. So all of that SOP is there even for family matters. So similarly, I also have SOP for this Map Your Mind Academy. I have SOPs for writing book. So you can create your personalized SOP, and you can share with it your team in the long run, so that for example, Shubham comes up with 3 questions or 3 doubts, so he should know what next. Instead of coming to you, he can just refer to that example. Or I have an SOP that whenever there are students, or even there are mentees, and when I say students, my students, there are school teachers also, very learned people, they have done their MA and all, but I say them that when you are coming to me for questions or anything, then I give them 3 questions that, okay, is this not available in Google? How much time did you spend actually finding out the answer? And or 3 or 4 tricky questions I have. And once they answer these questions for themselves or for me, they will then come to me. So that first barrier is stopped there only. So something like that you have to innovatively think. And if it is like frequently asked questions, people do have, your team members will have some frequently asked doubts. So, those you can just put it there and you can give it to them. So something of that sort you can do. You can plan slowly, yeah. So yes, and this is one graph that I show it, that what happens when we keep on procrastinating. We don't do it willingly most of the time. Sometimes it's time issue, sometimes it's just we don't feel like, and so we say, I don't want to do it. And then we'll say, I don't like doing it after a few days. So then don't like will become hate maybe after a month, and then I will not do it finally. So as a boss or as a leader in your team, you might want your people not to fall in this vicious circle of don't want to not doing it completely. If you see it's a vicious circle, you can just have a look at this. It's a simple doodle, but I love this doodle. If you see, it's very interesting. I don't want to do it. I don't like doing it. I hate doing it, and then I don't do it. Yeah. So we have to pull them out, and this is what we keep on trying with mind mapping also, how to pull them out of this and make things interesting. Yeah. So all good up to here, and okay, you can take let's say 2 minutes of time to just think what we did from the beginning, just in your own mind, or if you want to speak out also. You're on mute. You're on mute, yeah. Yeah.
No, I said I write down whatever you speak. So because it's easier when my brain processes it. But yeah, I really like that whole part about the SOP. So I was having major problems with the social media posting. So I created an SOP last week for Shubham, like broke it down and gave him the mind map and show it to you. And
Sure.
it was like, okay, this is it. This is what you need to be doing. I am not going to be answering. If there's something you need from there, you refer, you find, ask these people what needs to
I'm
be
stopping. You
done.
can show it to me. Yeah, we can have.
Yeah, I'm showing you.
Yeah.
So for example, like just for this month, this was what I had created.
Okay.
So this was like more from the point of view, okay, social media process for Shubham. So it's only basically for Shubham, but he has to get in touch with everybody. So this is what will be done every week, for example, in 7 days, Monday, Tuesday, whatever. And then what is required if Monday is a quote, Tuesday is a video, then card hour, a blog, a campaign, and leadership talks. Now, over here for the 4 weeks, I have actually broken it down for him that these are the different themes, and under themes, whose videos are given. And I've in fact, because I was doing it, I've even given him the YouTube link. So just pick it up from here so that you have the thing. For Kiran's, coach, I've already given him my coach. So don't bother me. Everything is here. Ashish, ask Ashish sir in advance for the video so that it can be uploaded onto this to be shared, for example. Everything note has been for Ram's blog. Ask Ram sir in advance for his blog. So everything is done over here. The whole program is into these 3 themes that we have. So divided it up. And then it comes to the part about social media posting. So I've actually created this whole thing by so we have the WhatsApp, the social media, and what is the responsibility. So I've in fact broken it down for him, like this, WhatsApp, the content. These are the different things like card hour. He has to prepare card hour, link, blah blah blah. And what in the groups, he has to send it to the mom group, the lab group, and the community. The ad campaigns go to everyone. Social media, LinkedIn and Twitter, they sync the accounts, so it's done. Instagram, leadership card, and they sync the accounts, send it from there. Responsibilities, post daily through MailChimp, organize the calendar, get in advance, all the thing, card, our presentation, add posters, and send them. That also reminds me that he has to prepare that.
This is wow. Excellent. So it's completely mapped out. What is role mapping for Shubham? Completely his role. This is a very good example of role mapping, actually. His complete role and his responsibilities are all mapped out.
Yeah, exactly. So
and he uses MindMeister. I mean, can he open it in MindMeister, or how is it?
Because none of my other partners are doing it. So what I do is I download it as a PNG or a JPEG, and I send it to them. I print it out. This is your call, ship docs.
Okay. So
poster.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to go about, and he will have complete information about what he needs to do. And you can actually send PDF also, so that they have.
Yeah, that's what I do. PDF or whatever works. I mean, I just download it, and so the same thing I did for what was it? GBTC social. This was less work, but it's all there. These are the things that you need to do. The webinars, here are your responsibilities. Repost, blah blah blah. Do it, done. For example, even for I prepare for myself also here in social media. I thought I did mine also. Okay, that's the map. It's somewhere. So basically, I have created entire roadmaps for him of all the different. I created another map the other day. This is reasons to negotiation. So basically, this was something that was on the internet. This is for the book. But obviously, I don't want to copy something which is from the book to be putting it over here. So now changing it into my own, like the staking of the map holders. This is just another one, and making it very specific to the GSIs and alliances.
Okay. So this looks great. It looks like okay, this as an image can go to the book also.
Exactly. So that's what we did. And then yesterday I was creating another one, which isn't yet done, which is the sales management model. So this is the person who does it, and he has to work on these 3 things. And now under these things, I will be putting that what is culture aspects of it, team, what needs it. So those are obviously paragraphs, but if someone just did a glance, they will be able to see how can you create a sales management model.
Excellent, excellent. This is wow. I mean, very well organized, and the thought process, even that Shubham's one or the current one, though it's incomplete, I think once it is completed, it will look great with so much of information. And people don't like to read long text. If you see the moment you showed me this one, okay, this is yours. Okay.
This is mine, but I'm mostly also, Subra, using a lot for my minutes of the meetings. That is very powerful. So this is like all parents, so scheduling how it needs to be done. This has to be done. Idiom of the day, which platform you will post, where will I post? Yeah. So for example, normally LinkedIn, I will post because I don't have standard content. That one, it's more my mind thinks, but his job is to repost what I have written onto this place.
Yeah.
And whatever is here has to go to leadership, or these ones were becoming a task for me. So I don't want to do these. I've delegated this entire thing where it's an idiom of the day will automatically be done by him. I don't have to do it. These are the client calls that have to be sent out. The Google Drives have to be updated. Everything is now listed over here.
Excellent. And this, once you do and you just go back to the mind map and you see, okay, this week we have done all of this, you feel a sense of satisfaction also.
Yeah. So this was another one which I did yesterday, which works better for me. So yesterday I done what are the things that I need to do for 26, for example. Right. So I went this morning. Yeah. I went back this morning and I put the ticks. Okay, these have been done. But obviously there's carry forward because that webinar which I've written about in terms of preparation is actually going to be done here. So then I created 26 and I just did, okay, these are the things that still need to be done. These are the things, including Shubra's is over here. I don't want to take any meetings extra today because it's already looking like a very heavy day for me. And this is, this delegation that get Shubham. I'm not going to bother about it. Get him to do everything, these parts.
Wow. So the morning moment you put this green.
I did this in the morning. Yeah, immediately my mind.
You are telling your brain that you are so much capable of so much more, and automatically it gives that happy hormone some boost, and we feel good about it. I do this all the time, green tick, or I'll just put and go in the calendar a successful day. I have done at least maybe 5 out of the 10 tasks I decided, but still I appreciate myself.
So this is my GBTC team leaders meeting, which I had done yesterday.
Okay.
So then I immediately so while they were speaking, each one, what were the problems and suggestions and what were the key factors, and then each group leader gave their ideas, and the next part, what needs to be done, the team meeting. So it's already done. So now a picture has been sent to them. Guys, this was discussed. This needs to be achieved this week. So
Excellent. And as you do more and more mind mapping, like today you have done the stick one. Later on, maybe once you, after 10 days, when you actually review your own mind maps, you can put a box around it and this is done. Or maybe a comment and done. So something you go back and put there, and even a small some symbol like red is yet to be done, green is done, for example. So you just put a green boundary along the entire. So doing some kind of those tasks, great. Great.
I had the most fun with this one actually. Was what I had done. Remember, I told you I was going to be planning to do this.
Yes.
Because I was doing it immediately on mind map while we were talking. So it became easier. I was doing it in front of her. I said, oh, okay, actually your problem is not this. Let me add visibility as one of your problems. Okay, I think in this one you need, like, for example, these are the things that we need to work on. Or for example, then from there, then she said, oh, I want to do, I had created only the 45 days and then 90 days program for. She said, no, but I want 120 days. Then I wrote it out in front of her. So I said, okay, we can do the 100. I said, okay, so this is something that we can. So it was very live. So it was very
And the interesting person is not because not many people are doing the moment you do it for them, they feel that you're giving them so much of personalized attention.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
they immediately they feel connected to you. And the next point is they are seeing it. What you are doing is you're not telling. We were just discussing about using nice words. So what you did here with Sandhya is you need not use some words also. You want to tell her that this is where you are lacking, or this is where I come as a coach to help you. You can actually put that as a word on the mind map. Okay, I think this is the challenge that you are facing. And immediately the moment she sees there, her brain thinks that that is a challenge, and she would want to come and get coached by you. So that is an excellent way. I do it specifically for people who write books with me.
Yeah.
They do it. And then if it's not that purposely I'm doing, but that is the process. Whatever is their challenge, I put it on the screen in front of them. So automatically it creates that sense of urgency also. And it's not like a technique or a strategy, but this is what I have learned from Gopal, that whatever is the pain point and where you can
press on it.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, I'm using mind map. He would say that you put it as a word, but somehow convey that to the other party in a very subtle manner and tell them that how you as a coach can transform that.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
this is great. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah. So
go back.
Continuing with our thing, and we had a nice discussion rather about this entire process. Next, though it's looking like a 180-degree phase shift from what we were discussing, but it's not. It is a part of that content creation. Just now we did brainstorming and how we can gel well with our team members and all of that. So how to turn a book into a mind map. And when I write book, it's not necessarily just book. I say even articles, or even if I read 10 blogs. Yesterday I presented to a person how just he's very just starting, and he is someone well known to me. He wants to know about LinkedIn, how you can as a person who has just 100 connections, he wants to grow it. And he's not he's a retired person. He is not looking forward to any goal as of now, but he just want to network with people. So what I did was whatever was my own experience, plus I read, let's say, 3 blog articles on how a new person, a retired person, can do and go along with his own industry people and find them. So all that I turned into a mind map. So not necessarily just a book, but it could be any material that you want to turn into a mind map. So if you have a material with you right now, the material that you brought, the only reason that we told, because this we will be doing again in future in a more elaborative way, but right now what we want to start at least this process. So that book that you have brought along, what we'll do is, when we are making a mind map, this is the process that we will be following, and it's a standardized process, standardized 5-step process. It looks like a huge one, but it's a simple one only. I'll explain. What we do is, in step number 1, we take the book that is there in your hand, and we, not more than 2 to 3 minutes, or maximum 5 minutes. If it's a big book also, 5 minutes is more than sufficient to take the book. Just have a glance at it, whatever your brain captures. Yeah.
Subra, the drilling has started very heavy over here.
Okay.
I'm going to, like, I understand anything that is.
Okay. Please take your time.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure. You want to shift to other room, you can do that.
Yeah, and then you can log in.
Sure.
It's just too loud, I can't understand anything. Recording in progress. Okay, we can speak now. Subra, hi. I can't hear you. You're on
Yeah.
mute.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, you're settled.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
By any chance, did you bring the book also?
Yeah, I brought
Okay.
it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah.
It's too loud. It's just too loud. Couldn't. Yeah.
That's okay. It happens. And yes. So what I was saying is, what we'll do is, even if it's like a 400-page book, will not take more than 5 minutes. If it's somewhere between 200, 300, 2 to 3 minutes is okay. And what we do is, we will not again think anything. We'll just take the book and very attentively we will skim through it. Maybe the name of the author will be captured in my brain. Maybe a little bit of preface, and just I go through the content of the chapter. That okay, this book is divided into 16 or 20 chapters, and if I see that the first, so something of that sort, you glance and you mentally plan. Okay, if this entire book needs to be mind map, how should I go about it? Should I go chapter wise or part wise? Whatever it is that you're looking for. So just that overview is the first step, which should take between 2 to 5 minutes. Any book, and we do it for all the book. We just don't randomly pick up any book and read. And then in the first step, once we have done that overview, we go to the next step, and this is when you want to make a mind map of the book. Even before reading the book, I'm deciding, okay, if I'm talking about atomic habits, maybe my central theme, what would be my image, what is my central theme, and am I going to use how many branches am I going to use, what colors I'll be using, just deciding. And most of the time, many people, they won't decide upon the colors and branches and all of those things. Those are generally, if there are some passionate people in my team, I mean in my mentee list, who are very passionate about only creating mind maps from books. They want to do that all the time, so they will do it very elaboratively. For you and me, we don't need to plan branches and colors and all those things. Only thing we can do is we can think about the theme, central theme. What will be my central topic, name of the topic at the center, and roughly how many branches will I make. And that you can decide by looking at the chapters from this book that you have, the same book that you have. How many chapters are there?
It has 6 chapters.
Okay, 6 chapters. So do you want that all the 6 chapters should be different branches, or each
Because
chapter one branch?
this particular book is basically, it's an HBR, and it's about emotional intelligence, leadership presence. But what they've done is basically 6 articles
Okay,
by
6
different
articles.
authors. So
Okay.
it's not really on the concept of leadership presence. So basically, this book is more of a articles compiled together.
Okay. So yeah, even in that case, we can always decide, like, are there related articles, or if I want to
Absolutely.
put
The center theme is emotional
leadership.
intelligence,
Okay,
leadership presence.
okay, great. So yeah, so accordingly we decide, and then actually we go to the reading phase. That is step number 3. And again, as I'm saying this, we will be taking this more elaboratively in one of our sessions, where we also create a book. Before that, we will do this, and then we'll go. So that is already there, but this I want you to, I mean, I want this to be delivered right now, at least the basics, so that if you are reading any book, you can actually start applying this. So read, that is 20 to 25 minutes of reading, and not more, because we cannot put so much pressure on our brain reading non-stop, unless we are someone who love reading and who can read for the entire day, or it's something very thriller kind or something like that. That's a different case. For non-fiction books, 20 to 25 minutes is a good time to read. And then again, you speed map. What I do is I just speed map, and not I do, this is a standardized process, speed mapping, where we again don't think about anything. We just keep on whatever I have learned. For example, 6 articles, I don't know who what chapter, what it is, as and when. It's just like, you sing a song. Suppose even you're humming a song, and we know that after when the paragraph will change, it's not that the song is monotonous. There will be some modulation in the song, some change of the notes, some change of the music. Or even if you are a public speaker and you are standing on the stage, when do you change your position? automatically what brain does is when you're changing a paragraph, you are changing from first part of the speech to the second part of the speech, and you walk from one end to the other end of the stage, and you look from this set of audience to the other. So there is always some modulation required, some shift required. So similarly, in this speed mapping also, when you are doing speed mapping of a book you read for 20-25 minutes, and you just want to put all that ideas, so you are thinking branch number 1, you are putting the ideas, and you say, okay, this is a transition, so I'll put it in branch number 2. This is again a transition, I'll put in branch number 3. It may not be chapter wise, it may not just follow any rules, so we need not worry about structure. If you see it is written, don't worry about structure, color, ordering, image. Don't get lost in research, too much of thinking and all of that. No, whatever you have understood, just write down those, and if required, if you can see, mark some codes, labels, and if there is anything important, some quotes you want to capture from that book, just write down that in the form, in the side of the paper, or even if it is a speed mapping on a software like this, put it as a comment that this quote I want to use it in future, or I want my brain to remember, just put it there as a comment. So, and the main focus of step number 3, that is reading, is we are focusing on the context and the content. In which context this book, also even if it is in under on leadership or whatever it is, any book, it will always have some context beyond the content. I mean, the content can be same, but how you're explaining, or what is that context in which it is, the setting of the story or the setting of those articles or whatever, and with full attention we read. So once we have done this, we go to the next step, and this reading phase we can keep on repeating even before going to the final 4th mind mapping. This 3 can be done 4 times, 5 times in a day, or you think that, okay, I will do the mind mapping later on, let me keep on creating speed maps. 10 speed maps you create for this book, you read for 10 days and create 10 speed maps. And these are all very rough, and maybe it could be just on pen and paper, you don't even need to open your laptop, just pen, paper, simple. Very messy is also fine. And then you go to the final, not final, you say 4th, yeah, we can call it final mind mapping, where you actually review that speed maps, and maybe you have made 10 speed maps and you review them, and you say, okay, not all points, I'll just take this points and put it, because I don't want to remember the entire 400-page book. Maybe only 40 points are relevant to me, and this is what is going to help me in my life. Because unless it is giving me some value, I just don't want to go and tell people I have read 40 books in a year. What's the use if I'm not implementing any of those? So whatever I want to capture, those information from the speed map, I'll transfer it to the mind map. And as you see in the 4th branch, step number 4, we say that once you have made the mind map, once you have made it, please review it immediately once. Means after your mind map, you are transferring from speed to mind, and then once you make the mind map, just have a look at it once you complete. Don't just complete and let it be there, not like that. We take 2 to 3 minutes time, and we look at as if we are looking into the mirror with full attention, and with full, because it is you who have created that, we look at the big picture and the entire mind map, and tell our brain, okay, capture whatever information. You need not take any pressure, brain will do its work. And then you take a break, leave it, and then you do some revision. But while creating the mind map, if there is something you want your brain to remember, please use those 5 principles or the MIG or whatever it is you want to do. If there is some quote, I always put it in the comment section, and I change the color. Or if there is something very specific about that book that I want to remember, I will put it in red color box. So something of that sort. And it is again completely up to you. I don't use all the 7 principles, but if there is something about the book that I want to remember, for example, there is this quote from Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. Club, and I want to, because I talk about planning a lot, so this quote I had put it in nicely on a paper in red color with the pen, that when you bleed, when you sweat a lot in training, you bleed less in the war. So I wanted that to put as a part of why planning is so important, because we are exercising, we are planning, we are doing all those things. So in execution, we will save time. Similarly, if we are doing a lot of training, practicing, then when execution time comes, we'll just do it very flawlessly, whether it's a speech or whatever it is. So all that in all these places, specifically with youngsters, I use this quote. So I have written it. So some kind of memory principles you can use, and you can do all of that. And the next is revision. This we have already spoken about, why revision is important. And we will have small break periods in between, and you will create your own revision plan that, okay, I'm going to do it once in a month or twice in a month. And then after 3 months, and then just leave it. Maybe after 1 year, you will go and check, okay, do I remember if it's something very important? So this is the 5-step process. This map picture also, I'll be sending it to you. This is not the immediate goal that we need to look at, but once our 4th October session is over, we will be going to this, and I will show you how I have created in that next session, or even on 4th session, after the assessment, if we have time. I'll be needing around 15 minutes to show you a mind map of an entire 200-page book. That how I have done, and now it is like a presentation for me. I can take a 90-minute session just based on that book and relate it to mind mapping. You can do similarly for leadership.
Correct.
We will do it.
Yeah.
We'll do that. And what is the
Subra,
time?
we need to look at next week's assessment, right?
Yeah,
We'll
sure.
need your input on that.
Sure,
because
sure.
what are the things that you need from me, and how would you like me to present, as well as
Absolutely,
maybe some feedback on what I was thinking, and is my thought process correct? All
Sure,
those things.
sure. So can you just take 1 minute to just scan this with your eyes? I would say scan with your eyes. Yeah. And your brain will do the rest. Yeah, your brain will do the rest.
Yeah, I think so.
Great. So we'll do this late. I mean, of course, next week, next to next week. And what we are trying to do is we are doing reading, writing, mapping, everything. And that the goal is to reach, be not just super productive, but, have a balanced life. And yes, with this quote, once again, I would stop sharing my screen, and I would want you to share the screen. And we remember this starting of this 5-point mapping of a book. We will take it in the next session, because this is again something important. I want you to relate it with your coaching sessions. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, sorry, and what do you want me to open, Subra?
We will be doing 2 things that day. One is your own introduction presentation.
Yeah,
and I think that was excellent.
Because,
yeah. First, we will look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've just tweaked it up. I added what you wanted me to add. One second.
Yeah.
This one.
Last night I saw it. I went through that. Yeah.
So
you can show me.
I don't know why is it showing so big.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, this is the so I had created this thing to based on what you wanted. Remember this one?
Yes.
I don't know why is it not showing. Okay. So who am I? So I have added this whole section about it. I don't know why it's not. Yeah, a coach, trainer, and then the 3 top ones. Yeah, coach, trainer.
You can actually click there, and when you present, you can show as a full screen. Yeah.
Why it's not?
No, I can see full screen option there on your left.
Oh yeah, this one. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Perfect. So these are the 3 things that I will. Basically, who am I? Is coach, trainer, social entrepreneur, and educated researcher and student of life. So this is something. Then how do I go back? Okay.
Yeah.
Back.
Just there's a cross.
Okay. Now from there, you what do you want me to cover in the introduction? Just the first page, this one, or do you want me to?
No, I would want you to go through the entire map, but in a way that you also need not. You will project everything, but you will speak only what you want my brain to remember about you.
Okay. So basically I can show this one as an
this is important. Yeah, this is important, very important. Yeah. And this,
then
you open the map, and immediately my brain will capture, let's say Mumbai University, New Zealand. Based on whoever you're talking, I will capture some of the information, but Besides that, if you want me to specifically remember that you are a John Maxwell leadership coach, you
That's
have
what I mean.
highlighted. You have
Yeah.
highlighted also, and then you can subtly
So I
mention
should
also
leave it
that.
open, right? Like this.
Yes,
Leave
yes,
it open.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So then
And this you can do with your own. For example, you are coaching Sandhya, and let's say she is not at all aware of your work, about you, and she has not much information. It's like more like a stranger who is coming to your community. So even there, you can always leave this open, but speak about specific points to save time.
Correct. So this one is again,
Yes.
like, for example, I'm a leadership communication coach, and my mantra of life is that your voice matters, so speak to be heard. For example, I will leave everything open. I mean, should I do it like this?
Yeah. Once the education is first 2 hours over, you can close them. We can always practice this. Every time a branch is done, we can close this. Yeah.
Close it. Okay.
Yeah. We can fold, fold, and then this we can do. This is great. Ikigai and
I will have to do it in 15 minutes. Okay, just one second. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So yes, this is great, I think. Give back to community, and NGO 120, that 120 students you can highlight here.
Okay, which one? Highlight, how do I highlight?
No, 120, just, I mean, border. Yeah, 120 students.
Okay.
So that you will also remember that these are the points you need to highlight when you are speaking also. 120 students and something like that. Yeah. Anything else that you would like to highlight?
I would also like to highlight about this part where, as a leadership coach, I believe that, as I'm saying, that your voice matters. Now I'm going to keep it consistent, because that's green is my color for leadership. Sorry, the green is the color for my GBTC, and leadership card is blue, for example. So then over here also, we should just put it as blue. As blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So then from there, so we go into your voice matters, so speak to be heard, but that's my mantra, so that can be a different color. But when it comes to, and how do I do that, is through communication, leadership.
So you can create a link.
Yeah, I can also create a link here. And how do I do that? So
your voice matters, so speak to be heard. Yeah, and then a link connection. Yeah. Yeah.
And basically, how do I do that? It's through this, right?
Yes. So communication is again so important. Expressing your ideas, and self-expression is also important. So that is also something you teach to your mentees. Yeah. Great.
That's
Ikigai, and maybe you would they may not be aware of the term Ikigai to whomever you speak, and we will be imagining that I know nothing about you, and hence anything that you would want to touch upon, because not everybody will be knowing what is Ikigai. So very quickly, maybe 10 seconds, but still you just talk about Ikigai, that my passion, which in Japanese, there's this beautiful term called Ikigai, something like that always.
Or I can even change it from Ikigai to something where my mission.
Yeah, your mission or
my passion.
A passion, yeah.
Yeah, I could actually change the image over here, right?
Yeah, change the image, or you can even, I say passion without proficiency will not help.
Yeah, so passion, which has become my profession.
Yeah, passion. So PP, maybe you can just give it your own term.
That could be a better one, PP. So what is my PP? Passion, which has become my profession, which is to become, and then from there, so then from there, my mission statement, I should actually come up with, is to support, empower. So, and I will just write it here. How do I do that? It's through my mantra of life, which is that speak, your voice matters to be, so speak to be heard. And I've been doing that in different ways. One is through my leadership communication coaching. The second is by creating opportunities through my by giving back to the community, by empowering them. And currently I have 120 students who I'm supporting through technology, by bridging the educational gap through technological intervention. So something like that can be brought back.
Great, great. So yes,
So
mission, yeah. And while you said PP, that is your passion, and you are also proficient, because with all these years of experience, you have become very proficient in your passion, and you're also making it a profitable business. So triple P, that's what came to my mind.
This is my PPP model. So that's how we can put it. And I will change the image of it. And then what is my mission? To support, to inspire, empower. My student Sham always says, he says, ma'am, you do, this is a really good one. He said it to me. He said, you have the 3 E's or something. Let me see. That's a good one. I will write it down and show it to you later.
Sure.
He says you have 3 E's actually, so I'm going to write it down.
Okay, please,
3E formula, which is, he said you empower, empower. What happened to this?
It happens with the speed. Yeah, no issues.
He said you empower, you enlighten, and you also educate.
Wow.
So he said that's what you do.
What I will suggest, I will send you some Canva links, and just like how maybe 2 links I'll send you, and instead with mission, this 3E, that is empower, enlighten, and educate, we can create a standardized image for at least maybe next 2-3 months, and then later on maybe Shubham can change.
Love that. Yeah.
So we will, just like, if you remember, I have this COCP 1 pyramid. Correct. And for another group, I have one where, it's more like this Ikigai diagram, this Venn diagram, where, when you have confidence and clarity and this, then what is the outcome? So magic formula, I call it. And that's for another, a small group of people. So something like that, I will just send you links so that, you can tweak it and completely change, and you can think. So that image can be there. So even if you're saying in 3E, empower, enlightenment, educate, and along with that, just in that, wherever you have written 3E, there that image comes up to your client also. Next time when you discuss, it will go and directly, get stored in their brain. So we'll do that. So this is, otherwise this is fine. Great.
And then from there we will just this will be done brief. So then, because you had this one, I haven't finished yet, but I'm not going to focus on the, I'm going to just focus on my, like, do you want me to talk about my the educator's background and entrepreneur, or should I just focus on what I am now, which is the coach and the trainer?
What we'll do is, as I said, we will open, not, can you close this trainer, I mean the folder note? So we'll say that, okay, I'm an educator, coach. So all this should be visible to me, because these are something that that is what counts. So many experiences over these years. And then when you say, okay, educator, and you open that, can you just click that educator? You open that, and you need not spend even more than, let's say, 5 seconds if you don't want, but at least it is open. And okay, you give 2 to 3 seconds for my brain to register. And if there is anything, again, very important here, you can always.
I can just say that for the over 2 decades of experience as an educator, working with primary, secondary, as well as adult learners, with universities and colleges, like something like that. Done.
So 5 to 10 seconds, and then again you close it back, and then again you open and
then I decided that I wanted to expand, so I started business, which is one of its kind in Malaysia. And we operated between 2012 and 2019, which gave me new experiences, which I bring to my leadership coaching.
Yes. So, and then, so in that way we can do, so only wherever we need to put more time, we will put, and not just for telling me, but as a signal to your brain also. If there is something that you want to highlight more, you can just always put some, some emojis or some tick marks or some colors, something you can make a little bit change, so that you don't, it's not this about this assessment, but in future, maybe even if you are showing it to your clients online, offline, wherever, even you might want to, I have seen your pictures and all where you go and deliver this sessions offline with a group of people. So all you need is just your laptop and a projector to show about this. So there also, you would always want people to know about your various experiences, and then just some codes and all, so that you don't forget that, okay, I had to touch upon this point and I missed out. So that missing out won't be happen if you just give some kind of a secret code. For me, I know that if I'm putting this cross or something like that, then I have to speak up more on that and less on the other part. So some secret codes you can
so these
create.
are now become my standard colors, because for me, that me as a person, red is my color, blue is my company, and green is my NGO. So now when it like my voice matters, it's about me as a person, then I will put red as that color.
Okay, excellent. And social media have gone through and membership. So I think, this is great. So we can close this and we can go to the other map.
That's the more important one, which we need to really, because I'm still in the process of
and we can actually do it because I'm your maps are accessible to me, so even when you have confusions, you can always in the map itself, or even you can send because
so I should put the comment and
if you want me to really see, and you can just drop a message, Subra, please see the comment if it's anything, so I can always see that.
So I'm still in the process. So I just decided to, is it this one? Is it this? Primacy?
Yeah, this is what I have seen yesterday.
So these are the mnemonics, and then I went and looked at how to define mnemonics, and it's about creating imagery in the mind of the, the reader. So how can we actually create mnemonics? I think I've written the definition also of it. I can't remember. So I went back and, went through each one of them and thought that these were the different ways that I was trying to create imagery in the minds of the people. What did the bloody clock? Sorry, it's just so big, wherever I could find images to represent what I was saying, I put those. Pregnancy, adoption, how I've supported people dying, all these things that came to my mind. I didn't know at that time that it was something which Sachin Tendulkar had said, but it was similar to it, so I can put that down. World came crumbling down. And I think then what I have done is actually written the exact text also, which was in the speech. So how have I used that as a thing? I wrote that down like a chameleon. So those were some things then repetition.
Yes.
Nice. So the words where I have used words like Wonder Woman, the mindset, and the crossroads were using the 3P formula. These were the 3 words which were constantly repeated because I wanted them to stay in the mind of. Crossroads was chosen because that was the theme of that. But mindset and Wonder Woman was what I wanted people to,
associate with you. The next time, it's like more like association.
I haven't yet done interest, that how did I, but I was more from the interest point of view. I was going to be creating linkages. That interest was created by creating these images in the mind and making them feel that it was them.
Yes, exactly. And they felt connected. You created that connection.
Correct.
Through this, not just the topic, but it's more about what kind of connection you have created. So automatically that they will get interested in knowing more about this.
so the association, that how I associated different words. So for example, the word baby was utilized in different ways. It was for my twins. So I think I've even written all the sentences on this, what was exactly done that day. It was used for my kids clubhouse. It was used for my leadership card company. Then from new communities, it was about all these different communities. I will add pictures over here. The word mother, a woman, also had different meanings.
Absolutely.
I think it was not woman. I think woman
Wonder
as a
Woman.
mother, as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a philanthropist. So those were the associations, that how one word can have multiple associations. I haven't yet done the VR and the
Actually, I just found out one VR right now. I mean, that what struck my mind is because you have used the word baby, mother, all this in different context. Isn't that an automatic VR? Because the moment people think of baby, they think like not about business. I mean, even if they think, but it's a different context you're giving. Mother, you're giving a different, you're giving a new definition. So those are VR effects and subtle VR effects we are giving. So
yeah, exactly. And understanding and misunderstanding was all basically, if you look at the imagery, is understanding and misunderstanding, because the chameleon is referring to the chameleon, but actually I'm talking about me as a woman who changes her identity.
Absolutely understood.
So should I use just say chameleon, or how would I?
I think that's good. I mean, this is again a 180-degree twist. VR plus understanding and misunderstanding, because the moment people see this, they will think it in a different context, and then you tell them that okay, this was, so you are doing VR plus misunderstanding. I think that is excellent. I mean,
So
very
basically,
unique. Very unique.
I'm just saying I'm a chameleon, right? I mean, basically, we are like a.
And who would say that? Who would say that? You are saying that, and then you actually explain in your speech or all of that.
Basically, how are we being a chameleon is because each minute we're changing our identities just to suit other people. That's what I'm saying. That, sometimes I want to be the perfect mother, the perfect daughter, the perfect daughter-in-law, the perfect wife. I'm changing my identity as like a chameleon.
Absolutely. And what is happening in the process? Are we gaining anything? So I mean, I remember your speech, and so you are touching upon that very important point. And the moment you say such kind of statement, people will think, okay, this is something they have never heard. So you are creating understanding, misunderstanding, and VR effect, all three together. So it's great, I think.
Great. So I'm going to so VR is also about the chameleon, I believe that, the identity. It's all about constantly changing. So Subra, how would you like me to present this? Like, just I'm obviously
this you can actually just now how you said that only, and you explain that mind mapping here, so many things are happening. You're explaining 7 principles. You start with how you have explained, and at the end you say that okay, so how you have used all the 7 principles of mind mapping, and how in your speech also you have used. And it's not just in the speech, you can use it, and you can just give some examples, not necessarily it needs to be there in the mind map, but you can speak that how you plan to use it in different your professional and personal.
I mean, in fact, immediately I asked speaking to my daughter, and I asked her that, so we were talking about primacy, recency, and she was able to relate it based on the books with Harry Potter, for example. So her readings also, she was able to relate it to how the confusion or association or the recency and primacy was created, or the mnemonic images that were created in their minds. So as a reader, or as a speaker, or as a coach, what we have to be doing is constantly creating our content so that these elements are always addressed, so that we're constantly keeping the engagement and the interest of the audience at a higher level.
Wow, I think that's a wonderful closing statement. It would be. It's like giving an argument. Yeah, I think it's wonderful. Great, ma'am. I think you are ready already. I mean, you don't need much time. Maybe another day and you're done. So
My goodness. No, but this was great because what I did is I went back to, I was thinking, what should I do? Then I went back to Saumitra's because I had shown you that he had done something.
yes, I remember.
So
Yes.
that was great because it gave me a starting, but then I realized I can't use that because it's completely different. So I need to now what we have
But I
said, then
see
I
this as a completely new one. I
no, no,
mean,
this is completely different. It's completely different. Then I took out, but it was great starting.
yeah,
But then
it
I took
started.
out my speech, printed it out, and I started reading the lines and started thinking about it from that point of view, that how does the primacy, recency, all these things factor in? And it started making sense to me.
And the same presentation, once it's ready, not it is
It's
not
already so once it's ready, what you said is something that I can teach my students
yes,
on
that is
how
the
they will
purpose.
do it. Exactly.
That is the purpose, because
So
assessment is more like a
absolutely.
formality. Yeah.
No, perfect. I loved it because I mean, it's content I've created, which I will then start how a speech should be crafted, for example. With both, then the next one which I'm going to create is
And you
template.
want people to watch your speech. That is
Hmm,
why it is there at the center also.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So
Absolutely.
this is going to be, I mean, it will be very helpful in future, and you can keep on adding it. Yeah. So I
Absolutely.
think,
Absolutely.
yeah, we had a good
I think
conversation,
it was,
and
you have taken 2 hours, right? Like
yeah,
literally.
but it didn't feel, I mean, at least I didn't feel like.
I didn't feel it. We had Shubhra, before we hang up, I do need the coupon for the big plate.
Bigger plate. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can arrange one for me, that would be great.
Okay. You need a coupon for bigger plate. That's what
I've signed up, but I want to start exploring more and more
okay. Sure. Sure.
content on it. Is that okay?
So you want me to send a code, right? That's what you said?
Yeah,
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 sure,
yeah.
sure. I'll send it
You
today
said
itself.
that yeah, you can
Yeah,
arrange
yeah.
one for me, right?
Yeah, sure. Today itself, I'll do it. No issues with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And yeah, looking forward to meet you on 4th of October.
Excellent.
But that will not be counted as a session. That will be somewhere around 40 minutes, and then we'll
Perfect.
wind up. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah. Have a great day. Yeah.
Thank you.